that was from the opening to the 1987 original video animation Robot Carnival, an anthology of short films centered around the theme of robots. The opening and closing sequences were by Katsuhiro Otomo of Akira fame, with character designs by Atsuko Fukushima. These pieces tell the story of a self-propelled juggernaut that roams the land, attempting to entertain the humans that it encounters with less than entertaining consequences for them. Franken no Haguruma, or Franken's Gears, was by Koji Morimoto, who was also responsible for the Beyond segment of the Animatrix. In this variation of the classic Frankenstein tale, the mad scientist struggles to bring to life a creation made of metal rather than cadaver parts. Like the character in the Mary Shelley story, he gets more than what he bargained for when he succeeds. Deprive was by Hidetoshi Omori, who has worked on a variety of TV shows and movies, including Inuyasha. This straightforward story is about aliens who invade Earth and kidnap a young woman. In response, her robot protector in human guise fights the invaders to rescue her. Presence was by Yasuomi Umetsu, the creator of Mezzoforte. The longest segment of the anthology, it is about a self-proclaimed feminist, husband to a successful businesswoman, and father of a young daughter, who secretly creates a robot girl. When she begins to display independence, he becomes alarmed and reacts drastically, only to be haunted by her memory later in life. Starlight Angel was by Hiroyuki Kitazume, who has worked on various projects, including Amagoddess the movie. Set in a futuristic theme park, it is about a young woman who becomes distraught by a chance encounter with an ex-boyfriend, but is momentarily distracted by a park ride where her emotions come to life as robots. However, when she is reminded of her ex-boyfriend and her feeling sour, it's up to an intrepid theme park employee to save her. Cloud was by Mal Lando, a longtime veteran of the anime industry. Adapted from his self-published book Kumo to Shonen, or Cloud and Boy, it depicts a boy robot walking endlessly, oblivious to the patterns formed by the weather and the clouds behind him. Meiji Karakuri Bunmei Kitan Komojin Shurai no Maki, or Strange and Civilized Tales of Meiji-era Automatons, Westerner Invasion Volume, was by Blood of the Last Vampire director Hiroyuki Kitakubo. Set in the late 19th century, it is about a self-proclaimed genius, Jean-Jacques Volkerson III, who pilots a giant robot of his own creation and invades Japan in search of the riches of the East described by Marco Polo. A group of Japanese teenagers commandeer their own giant robot to defend against the invader. Niwatori Otoko to Akai Kubi, or Chicken Man and Redneck, was by Takashi Nakamura, who has worked on many productions, from Akira to Zillion. In this final segment of the anthology, Tokyo becomes a late-night playground for two mysterious robots, Chicken Man and Redneck, who magically bring to life the metal structures that make up modern cityscapes. A man waking up from a hangover at the wrong place and the wrong time becomes an accidental party crasher and is chased through the transformed landscape. During the 1980s, before the bursting of Japan's economic bubble, money was more freely available to spend on anime productions based on artistic merit rather than return on investment. It was in this environment that Robot Carnival was born. Producer Kazufumi Nomura assembled 9 animators for the project and asked them to contribute their unique visions. As can be expected from such a diverse set of talents, this produced mixed results. The bookends to the film provide some dark humor to the anthology. There are 1 or 2 shots where the frame rates are glaringly in need of a boost, but overall the animation and artwork are above average. Franken's Gears serves up dark humor as well, in addition to some interesting visual effects. However, most of the story consists of the scientist bringing his creation to life, so not a lot happens plot-wise. The funniest segment of the lot, though, is Strange and Civilized Tales of Meiji-era Automatons, with its genius scientist whose ego is cut from the same cloth as the Zini from The Princess Bride, its group of teenagers who are anything but a typical Japanese superhero team, and its mecha that demonstrate the shortcomings of steampunk technology. Deprive is the straight action piece of the anthology. It's completely adequate for what it is, not doing anything remarkable in terms of story or animation. Also a well-done but ordinary action piece, Starlight Angel has some added romantic elements. Its bubbly synth-pop theme is probably the catchiest music featured in the entire anthology. In contrast to these examples of pure escapism, Presence has a thematic core examining misogyny and objectification. The design for the character, simply known as the girl, is exquisitely detailed and painstakingly animated without the benefit of computers. Chicken Man and Redneck relies heavily on the influence of the works of Max Fleischer and Walt Disney, particularly the Night on Bald Mountain segment of Fantasia. While there is nothing wrong with the execution itself, the fact that it doesn't seem as original as the other segments may be a problem to some. Of all the segments, Cloud is the most artsy and, depending on one's taste, is either mesmerizing or boring. It relies on action in the background rather than the foreground, occasional static imagery, and a new age soundtrack. Because only 2 of the stories have any spoken dialogue, music plays a more important role in this film than in others. All of the segments have their own unique musical compositions, courtesy of longtime Hayao Miyazaki collaborator Joe Hisaishi, along with Saku Fujita and Masahisa Takeichi. Running the gamut from orchestral to rock, they work well with the visuals. Even the synthesizers used in Strange and Civilized Tales of Meiji-era automatons adds to the quirkiness of that story. Options for watching Robot Carnival are unfortunately rather limited. Members of the Japanese broadband service Bandai Channel can watch it streaming online. It was previously available as a Japanese R2 DVD in 2000, in both a regular and first-run limited edition, but both are now out of print. It included English subtitles that were in fact dub titles based on its English audio track. This English audio track originated from the adaptation by Streamline Pictures in the early 90s, with emphasis placed on the word adaptation. Besides renaming the last 2 segments, this English language version also changed what little dialogue there existed, either by altering some lines spoken by the characters or adding new ones where the characters didn't originally speak. Despite the difficulty with finding a source for watching it, it may be worth one's while to seek out Robot Carnival. While not every story it tells is a masterpiece, viewers who give it a chance will likely find at least 1 or 2 that they like.